Because sometimes you don't see that the best thing that's ever happened to you is sitting there, right under your nose.
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 underrated romantic comedies of the 2010s.
He's my mister.
I'm her mister, and she's my president.
For this list, we'll be looking at the best rom-coms released between 2010 and 2019 that don't get the recognition they deserve. Some plot points will be discussed, so consider this your spoiler alert. What's your favorite underrated romantic comedy? Let us know in the comments. Number 10, The Big Sick. In The Big Sick, Kumail struggles with reconciling his relationship with Emily and his relationship with his parents.
I'm sorry. I can't lose my family.
The stakes grow even higher when she falls gravely ill, and for a time, it seems these two won't be able to make it work. Many rom-coms feel like happy-go-lucky modern fairy tales, but this film goes deeper, incorporating serious themes and nuanced dynamics.
Like, you felt one way a few weeks ago, and now you're saying you feel the total opposite way, and the only thing that's changed is that I was in a coma.
Not only does it go against many cinematic standards and traditions, it's also about Kumail going against cultural and religious expectations. Plus, the story is somewhat biographical, drawing on husband and wife duo Emily V. Gordon and Kumail Nanjiani's actual relationship. How meta is that? We love it, and wish more people were singing its praises.
If you have to go, you can go, but it'd be really great if you stayed.
Number 9, The Lovers. Many rom-coms culminate in a happy ending, but this one leaves things up in the air.
I'm confused. I'm confused.
Husband and wife, Michael and Mary, are planning to leave each other for their lovers, until they start to reconnect. Just when you think everything is going to work out, their partners throw a wrench into the works.
And I'll tell my wife it's over. And we will be together, finally. With nothing to hide.
A more predictable film might end with Mary and Michael running back to each other in the rain, or something equally as dramatic. Yet this one ends with them apart, clearly still caring about each other. That ending exemplifies the overall strength of the movie, because you never really know what's coming. It might be why it isn't as popular as other similar works. It's also why it deserves to be.
I'm sorry, I can't stop thinking about you. Any chance we can find some time during the day?
Number 8, Plus One. This underrated flick is actually a pretty typical rom-com in many ways.
You know, everyone has a point. I don't think we look bad together.
So maybe some folks read the synopsis and didn't think it was worth checking out, yet when you do watch, you realize it's anything but basic. Two friends make a deal to accompany each other to various weddings in a bid to avoid going solo.
I promise you're gonna meet someone, and if you don't, I will pay someone to take care of you.
No deal.
So we have a deal.
As you probably guessed, they end up falling for each other, though things get complicated. On the surface, Plus One may seem to just follow the usual rules, and while it does in some ways, it goes against the grain too.
Do you love me?
I don't know.
The result is an exciting, well-written, humorous movie that keeps you engaged in the plot and rooting for the characters. Number 7, Juliet Naked.
Is it weird to say I'm jealous of your selfish impulses? Somehow, every time I face an irresponsible desire, fear convinces me to stay put.
Based on its title, one might expect this overlooked pick to be another take on Shakespeare's tragic romance, Romeo and Juliet, but it's actually an adaptation of a Nick Hornby novel, all about a woman, the musician she falls for, and their tumultuous journey.
People so busy, makes me feel dizzy, taxi lights shine so bright.
However, there is a lot of love and a lot of tragedy at play, all of which is expertly handled. Actors Ethan Hawke and Rose Byrne show such a masterful transition between the comedic bits and the dramatic ones that you almost don't even recognize them.
I can explain this to you. I know this looks weird.
The emotional beats practically spin on a dime, almost going beyond the rom-com genre in the process. If you ask us, the movie should be on everyone's must-watch list. We definitely recommend it. Number 6, Long Shot.
This is Fred,
Hi there.
my boyfriend.
Talk about an out-of-the-box release. We don't know if that's why it flew under the radar, but it's a great movie. Not only does it transcend the norms of traditional romantic comedies, it's also more than a standard, raunchy Seth Rogen comedy. As Fred Flarsky and Charlotte Field, Rogen and Charlize Theron seem like an unlikely pairing, but they're actually quite a dynamic duo. They run into each other after years when Fred is at an event that Charlotte, who's Secretary of State and looking to become president, is attending.
Secretary of State looking at us? Oh, she's looking at you?
The film pokes fun at political bureaucracy, turns traditional rom-com tropes upside down, and seamlessly transitions into discussing serious political and social issues.
I don't want to write for some bullshit politician. I wanted to write for you because I thought you cared about this shit.
Until you're running the game, you have to play the game.
Well then, by the time you win the game, you don't know who's scoring touchdowns.
What more could you want? Number 5, What If? You've heard of anti-heroes in movies. What If is kind of the anti-rom-com, calling out so many tropes that usually saturate the genre. For example, it counters the idea that it's somehow okay to cheat as long as the person you're cheating with is actually your one true love.
I have no problem with the concept of Chantry having guy friends, but if you're trying to split us up so you can move in.
No, God, I wouldn't do that. I just want to be friends with her. And with you.
And yes, our two main characters, Wallace and Chantry, go from friends to lovers and end up living happily ever after. But they also challenge the trope that men and women can't be platonic.
I totally get that guys don't want to hang out with the girl with the boyfriend. But it just sucks, you know? It just makes you feel like the only thing that's interesting about you is how you look with your clothes off.
After all, they do develop a genuine friendship before things turn romantic. The concept and execution are super meta without being too on the nose, so we don't understand why What If has largely been forgotten in the years since its release.
We should probably head back down soon, right?
Yes.
We could stay here for another minute.
Or maybe forever.
Number 4, Love Rosie. A big misunderstanding, best friends falling in love, an attempted marriage objection, Love Rosie sounds like the perfect romantic comedy.
It's like Kate and Leonardo in that scene on the deck.
The Titanic. How appropriate.
But for some reason, it doesn't get enough recognition, with its Rotten Tomatoes rating sitting at an abysmal 32%. Lily Collins and Sam Claflin as Rosie and Alex respectively have such amazing chemistry it practically jumps off the screen.
Keep in touch, okay?
They keep you so invested in the characters and their story. It's saddening, frustrating, and yet somehow still hopeful to watch as they just keep missing chances to be together throughout the years. In a way, it's also kind of like a romantic thriller with all the building anticipation. Like we said, it's practically perfect.
I was me. And you were you. Standing where you are right now. Perfect.
Number 3, About Time.
And the secret is that the men in the family can travel in time.
A guy traveling through time to perfect his love life might seem like a basic, goofy romp, but About Time is so much more than that. Tim learns he's able to travel through time and initially uses the power to fix issues he's been having with women, but it soon gets far more profound, with themes of family and love being explored in powerful ways. While many time travel movies have problems following their own rules, this one arguably utilizes them, and their consequences, pretty well.
So, every day up till yesterday is as it will always be. Lost.
Just like for everyone else.
Filled with romance, drama, time travel, sci-fi, the emotional tale practically transcends genres. It should be up there in people's minds as one of the best movies of the 2010s. It's about time we make that happen.
Ladies and gentlemen, Tim and Mary.
Number 2, Ruby Sparks.
Everything's been so up and down lately, you know.
If you don't know Ruby Sparks, we're here to tell you it's beyond time to meet her. Desperate author Calvin somehow makes his heroine Ruby come to life. Literally.
You can see her?
Yeah, she can see me. I can see her.
You can see her.
Okay, let's not make this worse, all right? I'm sorry, I didn't know.
Oh, and whatever he writes about her comes true. Naturally, things go awry, and he keeps trying to change her to suit his needs. The clever premise is carried out with care. Indeed, the fantastical film provides honest commentary about trying to change the person you love versus accepting them as they are.
If this is how you think about people, then you are in for a long, lonely, up life.
On top of that, Zoe Kazan's screenplay is intelligent, while her acting makes the titular character feel like a fleshed out person. She and the whole team need to be given way more credit for what they accomplished. Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions. Before we go, Chris Evans nails his directorial debut.
Don't change a hair for me. Not if you care for me.
Think like a man. Each member of this ensemble cast nails their role, and the result is epic.
I miss you and I want you back.
So sweet.
I want to buy you a house.
That's my man. Step up there.
I want to buy you this house.
Back up. You ain't buying my house.
Letters to Juliet. The Bard himself would be proud.
Leaving London will be a pleasure, as long as you're waiting for me on the other side. Because the truth is, Sophie, I am madly, deeply, truly, passionately in love with you.
Friends with kids. Figuring out who you're meant to be with is hard, but this flick makes the journey entertaining.
Great dog.
Yeah, he's actually my neighbor's dog.
Oh.
I could never ever be responsible for another living thing. He's adorable.
Leap Year. A fun tale about an interesting tradition.
And you guys have this great tradition that a woman can propose to a man on the 29th of February in a leap year.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Safety not guaranteed.
The guy says you'll get paid when you get back, bring your own weapons, safety's not guaranteed, and he's only done this once before.
There are several moving pieces to every good rom-com. Safety Not Guaranteed brings them all together with the help of several characters, namely Kenneth and Darius, whose lives change when they meet.
I really like your intensity. You're like no nonsense.
Well, there's no sense in nonsense, especially when the heat's hot.
Exactly.
Yet, when speaking about rom-coms, it's not one you often hear mentioned. Perhaps that's because it moves between genres, but it deserves far more mainstream praise. After all, it's funny in all the right places, dramatic in all the right places, and enigmatic in all the right places. Plus, the layered love story is beautifully parsed out over time. There's a time travel element. In other words, it pretty much has everything one could hope to find in such a film, but it's so funny and subtle, it never feels cliché. Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.